Hey there, this is Matt with State of Flux, here with a review for X2, sometimes called X-Men United. But I will refer to it as Wrath of Khan, because I never really realized until my rewatch last night how much like Star Trek II The Wrath of Khan this is. Bryan Singer, the man who must not be named, problematic as he is, famously was a big Star Trek fan and tried to do a Star Trek TV show that took place at like several centuries after The Next Generation. It never happened. Yet, watching this film, I can see the Star Trek of it all at play. In fact, the last act of this film is basically beat for beat the same ending of Wrath of Khan. A lot of the big moments play out almost identically. That being said, X2 is in itself a grand step up from the first movie. This is one of those like monumental leaps, not unlike Mad Max to the Road Warrior in quality, where you have a movie that's just kind of fine with a sequel that stands as one of the pillars of the foundation for which the modern comic book movie is able to stand. And while I do think it's kind of aged out of its own relevancy here and there, it still largely holds up with better visual effects and whatnot. One of the things I didn't touch on in my review for the first X-Men movie was how much it didn't resemble a comic book movie. The one thing it seemed to be piss scared of was people allowing themselves to even believe for a second that what they were watching was based on a comic book. It's ashamed of its comic book nature. And this film carries that to some extent by its very nature of how it is following the first one, so it has to follow the same kind of bland color palette of the blues and blacks and murky grays and stuff like that as established in the first movie, whereas if anybody who's opened an X-Men comic knows that they're brimming with color, all the yellows and oranges and purples and reds and yes, blues, but greens and all of that, which is basically absent from the Singer movies. This one allows itself to be a little bit more of a comic book because of the Spider-Man of it all. Spider-Man came out between X1 and X2 and was a substantially bigger hit than even X-Men was. And that allows this film to lean into what it is. And it seems to set some of that shame aside. The irony of all of this is that the whole theme of both the first two films is accepting who you are and not shying away from that, not being anything. There's nothing wrong with what you are, so show the world what you're capable of. And yet they are comic book movies that are trying like hell to look like, in the case of the first film, an art movie that's got some action at play. It looks far more like the action films and usual suspect style of cinematography that came before it. This one breaks free of that a little bit, but still doesn't utilize color or its vibrant characters the same way that even Spider-Man did. It doesn't lean on or accept what it is quite yet. Weirdly enough, that would come with the far inferior third one, but I'm getting ahead of myself. X2 does have quite a few good qualities. I think the screenplay is very, very strong. Now, it's really strong because it also is cribbing from one of the best science fiction films of the 1980s in Star Trek II Wrath of Khan. Pardon me. But it also is given us a great setup. The President of the United States is attacked by a mutant, which strengthens the political divide of trying to get rid of the mutant problem. And in comes Colonel Stryker, somebody who has ties to Wolverine, who, yes, is still the main character, as he will be for most of these movies, and I just have to accept that. But he is also put to very, very good use, as is Stryker. Stryker is an interesting villain because he's not Magnito. He doesn't have that intangible quality of he is right, but maybe misguided in what he is planning to do. He is just wholly wrong. Stryker is a true, unyielding villain. And that is what separates this from the first one. And they have to overcome his villainy and what he's capable of doing, even to his own son, where he's trying to rid the world of mutants. And a small band of them have to come together, both from the X-Men, but the Brotherhood of Mutants, as Magnito escapes with the help of Mystique, coming together to try and save Professor X and a sadly sidelined Cyclops. Cyclops is my favorite character, and the way he is mismanaged in the first one by being a jealous rodent, essentially, to this film where they don't know how to write him, so they just knock him out for 2/3 of the runtime. Disappointing. That said, the characters that we do get expanded on are Jean Grey, who has quite a bit more screen time as her powers grow and develop, as well as Storm, who is quite fantastic in her beefed up role. We also get to get quite a bit more time with Professor X, as well as Magnito, as well as Mystique, who's one of my favorite X-Men. And Rebecca Romijn is just fantastic as her, both bringing out the physicality, the playfulness, the sexiness. She gives a good performance. I really do like her as an actress. But then we get introduced to a couple of new characters. Obviously, Brian Cox's Stryker is fantastic, but it's Nightcrawler who comes in and steals the show. He is such a great character that we never really get to see again. Sure, he gets brought into one, if not two, of the prequel films, but he will make his cinematic return in Doomsday, and I am excited for that, because his character and the way Alan Cumming plays him is just fantastic. Now, I imagine we're going to get a digital version of Nightcrawler in that film, but more Nightcrawler is better, especially with the original actor coming back to portray him. There are so many moving pieces and so many Easter eggs and great little cameos that it's impossible if not to love this if you're an X-Men fan. That said, also if you are an X-Men fan, it's kind of disappointing that all characters like Colossus get are a shining moment. This film never really figures out, just as the last one didn't, how to unite these characters to work in balance with each other, similar to how the Avengers films or Guardians of the Galaxy films worked. Where everybody is a main character and can sustain scenes, yet this doesn't really seem to know how to juggle them, so it'd rather just sideline people or give them glorified cameos. Those cameos in this film work really, really well and are scene stealers. We also get more time spent with the developing relationship of Rogue and Bobby, Iceman, which I really liked. All in all, this is a considerably better film. Pardon me, and I highly recommend it. I think this is one of the best X-Men movies, but certainly the best of the original trilogy of them. Watching it with my daughter, she liked it a lot too, and she was picking up on the allegories of the prejudice. The scene that seemed to be striking for her is when the cops are called on them at the house, and Logan gets shot. She kind of equated that to the Black Lives Matter movement, and I thought that was quite neat. Pardon me, excuse that coughing fit, I probably just edited it out and now called attention to, so you're like, what? But anyway, she enjoyed the movie, she liked the action, and she was surprised by the self-sacrifice moment at the end, and that the film actually allows that character to not come back. They tease a suggestion that the character might have more to go. But for my daughter, who knew not the story and knows nothing of Phoenix, she didn't pick up on that. She was just like, what was that under the surface of the water? And I was like, I don't know, we gotta watch the next movie. Unfortunately, that next movie is X-Men The Last Stand, and we will touch on that in probably a week's time. Ruh-roh. Anyway, I'm a big fan of this film. It'll be sad to see the quality of this decline for the next couple of films, but we'll be back with more to say about this roster of mutants in several weeks down the line. Let me know what you thought of X2 X-Men United, The Wrath of Khan, in the comment area down below. Thanks for watching, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Peace.